everybody needs to establish because high level is going international now. I mean, high level is possible for any other countries that are out there. You just need to be able to, you know, bridge the gap of what will make high level available to your own country, right? So meaning if I'm the Philippines, how can I make the Philippines use high level specifically for local businesses? Because it solves a problem. So I mean, when you're able to bridge that gap, build a community within your own country, and at the same time fully support them on what they ever need to, to use the actual platform because it's really powerful.
Welcome to the Spotlight Session. It's a game changing interview series that showcases award winning agency owners to share secrets of starting and scaling a marketing business.
Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of our high level podcast, Spotlight Sessions, where we bring in subject matter experts and guests that are users of our high level platform to share their story and to share with you something you could start doing with your high level software to get your first paying customer or just be aware of what's available. I want to invite you to join us in the conversation here. I have with me here Cece Tan. She's a high level user as well as a former virtual assistant. And in 2024, she and her team went on stage and picked up the high level SaaSpreneur Gold Award for having a SaaS as well as getting their first 100 customers doing so. And today she joins me on speaking about some topics that resonate with many around getting your first set of paying customers. Cece, thanks for joining me here. I appreciate you taking the time, and I'm excited for what we're about to jump into.
Well, I'm very, very much excited, John, and thank you for having me. It's been an honor, and actually, it's a dream come true to become here and to be talking to you now. I mean, we're in a different parts of the world, and being here is like literally game changing. So thank you for having me. I'm excited.
We've had a chance, myself and the team, to meet you at our last event, our first international event in Dubai, which was fun. And you had a chance to share some of your stories on our stage and network with other high level users that came from all over the globe. So I'm excited with what you're about to share with our audience today. And for those of you who have not had a chance to meet Cece yet, she's part of our high level official community. But one note to share with you is that she is a certified admin also. So if you've been,
Yes.
looking to network or learn high level, she's definitely someone great to pick her brain and get to know. But we've put together an episode today called Sell Without Selling: How Sharing What You Know Naturally Converts. And Cece's going to be sharing three major points within this spotlight session. The first one is give before you ask and why it works. The second is practical ways to share without selling. And the third is what happens when you do this consistently. CC, I know that, you being part of the Philippines, there has been in your early startup prior to getting your SaaSpreneur award and your team doing what they do, there was a problem with getting payments in the door. And
Yes.
you all solved that solution within your own area.
Right, that's correct. I
And
think
usually,
everybody in the world who's wanting to use high level and have not found a solution to use it in their own country is probably will probably be able to relate with me. And I think our topic today is like really perfect. It's like how do you actually sell without selling? I think how do you do that? It's like to solve the biggest problem, right? How do you make high level available to your own country? Because high level has been amazing and it's been affordable to most business owners. So that was the first problem.
absolutely. And you grew up in Rizal, Philippines. You started out as a virtual assistant,
Right.
working with entrepreneurs throughout the world, and then this shift came in where you became a local instructor and you got certified admin with high level. Um, can you, as we get involved in these topics here, please share with us how that journey has evolved. But if you're okay with it, let's get into our first topic here, which is
Sure.
the whole give before you ask and why it works. For those that are looking to sell SaaS and get involved in this business model, could you share a little bit about, what you kind of dealt with in your starting days and months or even the first year?
Mhm. Well, that's a really good question. By the way, I started using high level back in 2018, so it's still its its founding. And I've seen that a lot of business owners have been trying to sell, the actual software without realizing that, you're actually solving or you're actually providing more than just a software, right? So what I'm trying to say is that most businesses out there that you're actually trying to sell your software, or at least high level, they've seen all the promises. They've seen similar ads like the game changing software pitches, what this feature can do for me. They know the hype, and they've seen, or they've been burned before. So if you come in selling so hard, most people actually put up some walls, meaning it's going to be too hard for you to sell because actually coming to them just the same way as what others are actually trying to approach them. So when we talk about being able to sell without selling, is you being able to actually really find a certain problem in your community that you can actually solve. Because if you genuinely care about that specific problem, meaning your heart is being able to like resolve that problem for the specific businesses, then they can see your genuine intention in being able to sell them something. And I think one of the marketing lessons that I've learned from my mentors is when you want people to buy your product, you want to let them trust you and at the same time know you. And if your approach is to sell the software without having to lay out some foundation of trust, meaning genuine care, they see your confidence, meaning they know that you know what you're saying and what you're doing, your results, your insights, then they want to have what you have. So you don't need to convince them or these people when they can feel your expertise and when they can actually feel what's your vision behind what you're offering them.
Absolutely.
So go ahead.
And as you share that, and I'm listening to you, first thing that comes to mind is that people want to feel the value before they buy. And
That's
it's not
true.
always about the money. It's just about, like you said, the genuineness, the authenticity, the knowing that you know what you talk about as they're first getting to know you. Could you share some ways that you do this, maybe on some of your discovery calls, your follow-up calls, or just collaborating with other agency owners or SaaSpreneurs within the community that may be a little skeptical of maybe doing business because they might think they have everything already solved?
Right. I think now we know, John, that SaaS buyers are smart, right? So they're now more skeptical in actually buying all our promises, all our game-changing tools, whatever. They're now smart to know whether you're actually trying to sell them something that actually have is probably not working, right? So people don't want to be told something that works because they want to experience it. So for me, my first action plan was, okay, how do I make these people experience what it's like to be able to use the platform? And one of the things that I did, John, that actually has been a game changer for me was really being able to build my own community. And thanks to High Level for actually building Go Call Out, because I don't have to go out somewhere and be getting another, subscription just to build a community. So what I did first was I think I got like a depression from also failing another business before. So what I did is, what if I try to teach people how to use this platform, right? So I came up with an idea of how about I set up Go Collab, at least as a free, free community. And what I did was I actually just put out there some tutorials. I did like weekly call with these people that I don't know, just provide them what I know about High Level. And all of a sudden, I'm now hearing their pains. They're like, hey, you know what, Cece, I wanted to use this in my business. I have a coaching business, or I have a local business. I can have this automation in place. And now these people are like seeing you as someone who knows it and someone that they can rely on because they have a problem in their existing business that they need to solve. So when I did that community, from maybe my first week, I had like 400 people join, and probably in less than 3 months, I had over 5,000.
Wow. And with your community, you mentioned that you're bringing
Mhm.
people in to chat and to collaborate and ask questions. Um,
Mhm.
I know that offline we spoke about some of the trainings that you do. Could you share on how you incorporate some of the trainings, the networking? Is this all free? Is it free and paid? What's in it for you? What's in it for them? How do you
Mhm.
balance out the give before you ask, but not go bankrupt while you do it?
I think that's the last thing that we want to happen, right? I mean, you can give when, your cup is full, but not give too much and you're empty, right? So, I mean, the golden rule, right? It's always give value freely, meaning your insights, your tools, your strategies, your support. Because again, the trust is built in the giving and not the asking. So when you show up the value first, people naturally want to reciprocate that actual effort. So initially, what I did was I was doing free calls every week where I just jump in and ask them, okay, what's been your struggle? What's been the pain? How can we resolve it together? I kind of give them challenges. I even built some hackathons, meaning to say, gave them some activity to work on so that they can really learn high level deeply, not just for virtual assistants, but also for business owners themselves, because I help them try to map their own businesses, because some business they started with something and then they don't know how to like put it together in a process map. So I kind of want to help them do that or put that together. And eventually from the free one, of course, these people wanted more, right? Like they wanted more your time, they wanted to learn more from you. So again, when people naturally want to reciprocate, they now support your other costs. So to make sure you don't go bankrupt, you now come up with programs that actually really do help these people. So this now comes with some coaching packages that comes along, with your SaaS tool that you're offering. Now they're seeing both value. So you're like hitting two birds in one stone, where you teach them how to use the platform and you let them use the platform for their own business.
Yeah, and I appreciate you
Mhm.
sharing the examples, and you speak to it so naturally. It's obvious that this is what you do. This is how
Mhm.
you've built your business and you've built your relationship. So I'm sure folks will have more questions and maybe want to pick your brain. And if you're tuning in right now, let us know. Are you doing some of the things that Cece has mentioned so far, or do you have interest in maybe starting the community or starting some learning modules? Or making that natural organic relationship starter conversation around investing in their business without giving away everything for free. Let us know in the comments below. And as we evolve on this, you see, it's now time where we try to give our audience some practical examples and steps that they could incorporate themselves. So we talk about online communities. You covered in depth here. How does somebody get their online community kind of started with that overwhelming feeling and maybe a little bit of self-doubt in the way? How do you break through that?
I think more than anything is you try to set aside your fears, because most people are, I mean, that's my greatest advice to anyone who want to do it, because they're like, hey, I want to have a successful business like yours, but the thing is they're too afraid to do it. So I mean, we have to avoid overthinking things, because when I started it, I literally just built a community without a cover photo, without anything, any description. I'm like, I'm just gonna build it, let people join, and I'm gonna do my first call. I didn't put anything fancy. It's like really, literally just putting an action. I mean, doing it really without thinking of what design I should have there. Should I have a team to do it? Should I have this to be able to do it? I think it's really being able to put aside all those things first and just do it.
Just do it. And because
Mhm.
maybe someone maybe wanted to do this and they're thinking about, I need to patent this, I need to trademark that, I need a professional graphic designer, I need to build a brand, I need to build a landing page. From what I'm understanding, just get the Go Collab community up and invite people to join that you could serve. Is that fair?
Exactly. So I actually just posted randomly on Facebook and be like, hey, is there anyone here who's interested in learning high level? Or hey, is there anyone here actually trying to figure out high level and would like to learn from me? And people are like commenting, hey, yes, I'm interested. And so what I did was, okay, let me open up Go Collab space. And the reason why I had to do it inside of Go Collab, I know that we have Facebook, but one thing I've learned is if you do it on Facebook, people get distracted. So I have to bring them on somewhere else that they don't get distracted. Upload my learning modules, because inside of a Facebook group, yes, you can do that, but you're not able to upload any resources. With Go Collab, you're able to break down all of your different modules that people can consume, and you can even have your hackathon. So meaning if they don't finish the first lesson, they don't get to access the second one. So I literally have to encourage people that if you don't participate, I'm gonna kick you out because
Yeah,
you
it's
don't bring value. So they felt that I'm serious about what I'm doing, and they felt that I am committed with what I was doing. So naturally, people are taking action. They're literally, you know, engaging with the community, because what most people are experiencing is that I built a community, but nobody's engaging. But what
yeah,
are you doing to make people engage?
yeah. You
Right.
the way you kind of set the rules out. I mean, you definitely you sound like you mean business. So if
Yeah.
I'm going to join your community, I'm going to make sure I'm ready to participate. And I think that's a great segue into how that evolves. You got a group of people that are in the community. They're exchanging conversations. They're asking for help. They're receiving value. They're taking the modules. They're receiving their certificates. They're sharing their success. Maybe they're doing better at their current role, or they're getting a new role because of what they've learned. Let's talk about what's next and what you've done to kind of, I mean, it sounds like, you've been kind of pushed to like take it to the next level. Y'all had an
Right.
event in the Manila, Philippines area. Um,
Yes, we did.
and it
And
was an
thanks to High
in-person
Level, they
event.
supported it.
Yeah, which is awesome because this was an event that initially, you came up with it. It grew faster than expected, and then you said, "Hey, I would love High Level to be a part of it." And Team High Level said, "Yes, we're more than happy to be a part of it." And that's exciting to see. But would that have been something that would have happened if you didn't put yourself out there and build that online community?
I don't think so. I don't think I will be ever in that day without that actual powerful community that believes in you, first of all. Right. And I think what everybody needs to establish, because High Level is going international now. I mean, High Level is possible for any other countries that are out there. You just need to be able to, you know, bridge the gap of what will make High Level available to your own country. Right. So meaning, if I'm the Philippines, how can I make the Philippines use High Level specifically for local businesses? Because it solves a problem. So I mean, when you're able to bridge that gap, build a community within your own country, and at the same time fully support them on what they ever need to, to use the actual platform, because it's really powerful. I mean, it's gonna bring out so much opportunity. And I'm sure, John, we've met together in Dubai, and I think, with the community, I wouldn't be able to like really reach that level of being able to network out there with you guys in Dubai, being able to pull an event of over 500 people. And I think we're also coming in Dallas, Texas this coming October. So what I'm trying to say is, this wouldn't be possible if, number one, you don't have this community supporting you, that believes in you, that buys from you naturally because they see your vision. And not just the vision of selling a software, but the vision of being able to change people's lives, to change business, how people do business, right, locally.
Yeah.
So,
And you brought up a lot of great points around
mhm.
bringing high level to your country, and giving opportunity to those in your country and local businesses in your country, those that maybe are not aware of the different you know economic climates and restrictions in different countries. Could you share the power of these efforts and what it's doing for you and those that are involved in it, that are going all in? What are some of the breakthroughs that are happening?
Oh, well, I'm very excited, John, to tell you that when we have launched High Level in the Philippines and have resolved the payment problem, because again, in the past, we can only use Stripe. And if you're in the Philippines, you technically cannot get Stripe because you don't have an LLC registered, right? So what we did was, how can we come up with our own payment solution in which, okay, make High Level available in the Philippines, so that when we go to local businesses like restaurants or maybe, dental clinics, we don't have to manually pay them. Because the pain that we have here, John, in most businesses. So you have a gym, right? You have a gym. They have some membership, programs. But what happens is, these businesses, they don't have a way to collect recurring payments. So every now and then, when you go to that gym, you're gonna have to pay them. And what happens is you have to scan a certain code, and that business has to capture that payment confirmation. And then at the end of the month, they have to reconcile all those transactions because it doesn't save anywhere. So I'm like, okay, you made a payment. They couldn't check on their end if they have received it. They have to take a photo of that actual payment that you made, and I'm gonna have to reconcile it. So just imagine all that manual work. And this is happening to all the businesses that are in the Philippines because we're all manual. It's all papers. It's all that. So when I saw high level, I saw, what if I can actually build this system in which people can just literally invoice their own businesses, set up recurring payments. So when they have dental clinics, they have this type of businesses, they can charge their clients, even prepay payments, right? So I mean, that's a huge problem that we're able to solve, even for those who are selling their digital products in the Philippines. So like for myself, I'm a coach. I want to sell my digital products. For me to sell, I have to give away my account numbers so that people can pay me into my bank account directly. And I don't have a way to know if they did pay me. They have to tell me that they paid me, so they have to send me a proof. And what I will do is once I saw that, okay, I received this payment, I'm not gonna have to manually send, their access to my program, which is, oh my God, that's a lot of inconvenience.
And I can't even imagine right now you're going to, a fitness center as the example you shared, and there's a long line of people trying to check in, and it's almost like sending a
Manual.
wire transfer for every customer you have. I mean, the wire
Yes,
transfer process, whether it's through a third party or through the bank, it's tedious, it's time consuming.
it is.
So I'm trying to imagine here. I mean, that is a huge innovation that y'all
It
have
is.
created that now people can accept credit cards essentially and right
Exactly. So when they
have
just
what we
scan the phone, right? I mean, how you guys are selling, merch in Dubai, I was really amazed because I don't remember his name, but he was like, okay, just tap your phone over here and make a payment. And I was like, oh wow, this is something that I want in the Philippines. This is something I want to see in every business in the Philippines. So it's easier for them to do business.
Very powerful. And thank you for sharing that. Because that, the evolution of how it started and how it's evolving is so important in seeing the big picture of, is this worth the time? Is this something that is really, really possible for someone in your country or in another country to be an innovator?
Yes.
Lastly, with what you've been sharing, when you talk about, practical ways of how you're sharing without selling. You've been jumping on a few podcasts. Could you share a little bit about how are those originating? Is it you just reaching out through cold email and asking people to give you a chance, or is it somewhat of the unexpected, becoming the
It's
expected
actually
now?
more the unexpected, I think. It's all because I think when you start showing up, which is when you have an online business, it's important that you show up, right? That's actually part of, being able to sell without selling, because if you want to sell without selling, you have to show up. So what I do is I have to consistently show up so people know exactly what I do, and they know exactly what problems I do solve. And when they see that, they're now the ones reaching out and be like, hey, Cece, can you be our guest in one of our podcasts? Actually, I just don't do podcasts, but also in the Philippines, I do a lot of public speaking engagements. So we do go to different cities in the Philippines to be able to educate people about what's out there, what's freelancing, what's virtual assistant. So we kind of give them an opportunity to also be able to work from home. So those are the things that I have to consistently do so that people can literally see and can relate, and also can see that, hey, this is someone I needed to be on my podcast, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's part of that practical tips, right? Consistently showing up, even if it's hard, even if it's hard.
Yeah, and the overthinking, the self-doubt, the not feeling that the information that you're sharing is worthy enough. These are just roadblocks that happen to everybody over and over and over and over. And you've shared that you just got to break through it. As we get into our third pillar here, what happens when you do this consistently? You're far from a bragging type, and I want to share, if you're okay with sharing some of the examples of these small wins into bigger wins, and what does it mean for you, your family, your entrepreneurship journey and those around you. And I'm hoping that it could be a little bit of an inspiration for anybody anywhere in the world that may be dabbling with maybe leaving their full-time job, maybe going into entrepreneurship, or maybe, just getting into the online, learning and teaching space with different tools and how, right, high level, but also a community can make that happen. Would you mind sharing a little bit around, you know, the before, which we've gone over, and now what does the next, what does the remaining of the year look like from what you've accomplished and what you have on the horizon because of all of these efforts?
Mhm. I think more than anything, John, it's really being able to inspire more people that they can really do it, because a lot of people, not just my country, right? Like not just my countryman, but most importantly, people around the globe, because they have too many limiting beliefs, right? That I cannot do it. That's because I don't have the capability, I don't have the resources. But I think what's high level is showing us now is you don't even have to have everything. I mean, you start with a $97 plan, a $297 plan, and you're able to actually start from somewhere without having to think about investing $1 million just to have an actual business, right? Because if you are able to just put your foot out there and being able to like sell and be able to focus on solving people's problem, not just selling, then again, I'm sure that in the next couple of months it's going to be totally different from you. I've heard this same story from a lot of people that I've met. And actually my first time was in Dubai, and that was life changing for me. And I've heard the same story, like they started just trying to, start with $97 plan, figure out what solution they can provide, and start from there. Like not overthinking things, but trying to just start somewhere, because you're able to start somewhere, then eventually you're gonna get to the stage as well. Right? I mean, I've heard so much inspiring story from there where um one of the guy I've met, he said, I started as a VA, but now I have earned my first $1 million because of high level. And he didn't start with $1 million investment. He only started with a $97 investment and a community as well. So what I'm trying to say is it's really possible now that we have this powerful tool that you can literally put out there and start with your local community. Actually, you don't even have to go somewhere else. You just have to start with people around you. Maybe your local dentist person, or maybe somebody who is in your community that needs an actual CRM for their business. So when you try to solve that little problem, it then reflects to a bigger opportunity for you. But for me, at least what's been happening and where do I want to go next, I guess I'm very, very much thankful for high level since 2018. Without them, I probably will not be coaching people. I probably wouldn't be able to find what I will be teaching, because if not high level, I don't know what to teach, right? Or at least I don't know what SaaS business I'm gonna have here if not for high level. So ever since then, I'm like I said, we've been able to go to Dubai for that SaaSpreneur. We were able to get our first SaaSpreneur Gold Award in Texas as well last year, although I wasn't present. But this time I'm not gonna miss it, because we were hoping to get like a platinum or maybe a diamond award. It's not something that we're trying to just hope for, but it's something that we're targeting. So we're very, very positive that we're gonna have it. But more than that, it's being able to like also influence every people who's out there internationally, because I've been hearing a lot of people from Thailand, from Vietnam, who's been connecting with me, and they're like, how are you doing this? And I'm like, I'm telling them, you just have to start,
Yeah, and
right?
even at that Dubai event, there were people from
Mhm.
Singapore, Malaysia, Australia,
China, Hong
UK, China,
Kong.
all over. And I think the person you're speaking about, I think that gentleman was from Pakistan, and it was
Yeah.
so amazing because this gentleman, we're having dinner, just kind of hanging out, and they say, oh, the bill, your bill's been paid for. I'm like, Bill, our bill's been paid for. I mean, we haven't, And the gentleman just left a note, and he said, thanks to High Level, I've made an amazing life and
Oh,
living. And we were all in like, who is this person? And he,
that's
after a while, he says, "Look, I don't want to be rude. It was me." And I'm like, "Man, thank you." Like, it was just
that's
something that
very
was
thoughtful.
so,
He's a really nice guy. Mhm.
yeah. And to what you're sharing, as I got to meet you and your partner, in Marjorie
Marge.
and Marge and a few other people. It's so powerful to see that no matter where you are in the world, as long as you say you just start doing it, this platform allows you to get the first set of steps in your control without having to, like you said, you don't have to put $1 million down to get $1 million business. You can start with
Exactly.
$1 and develop from there.
So again, your voice, your knowledge, and literally your generosity can change lives. Whether you're in the US, whether you're somewhere else, the golden rule of thumb is you just don't hold back. You do what you're good at, you share what you know, and definitely when you invest in others, your impact multiply. Like literally multiplies. So I think what you need to focus on is how you can actually empower your community, how you can actually educate, and definitely watch your influence grow. And again, from what John mentioned, learn it from someone who's starting literally from scratch, someone from nothing, literally nothing, a young Filipino woman in the Philippines who now has a SaaS business on and who's going to be traveling in the US as well in the next couple of months. So, I mean, just get out there. Just do the thing that you wanted to do and start your business.
Thank you so much, Cece. Congratulations on the achievements. Congratulations on just, sharing your knowledge and, being a certified admin within the high level community, sharing your nuggets and just having a great spirit. We appreciate it very much. And we know that there's many other customers out there just like you, and we hope that they're inspired to tell their story and to,
Yes.
to share and help others as much as you are. Look, y'all, I know you probably have a bunch of questions. Throw them in the comments below. Feel free to connect with CC on social media. And as always, we'll have more of these sessions coming at you to inspire, to give you a different perspective, but more than anything, to push you to take the first step, like CC has shared in this episode. Thank you so much. And CC, I appreciate you hanging out with us and sharing your story and some of your tips.
I'm very honored. Thank you so much, John. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.